We're here live today for the Algoma Basketball Show with Coach Etienne Jacquet and Bigus Bangoura. How are you guys today? Good. And you, Coach? You're back in the office, I see, Coach. The only thing is a little bit different in Montreal. You said Montreal, everybody's acting like everything's normal there. Here in the Soo, a little bit different still, right? So nice to be back in the office and back on the court. Coach, just to get it, like say, out there and like say, we'll talk about it then, and it's done. Is with Nick Galen going to Nipissing? Can you just talk a little bit about that before we get in with Bigus? And just so people watching know and who don't know how does, just so we know, how does that transfer rule work when it comes to not just Nick but anybody for the OUA or U Sport? And Biggest now, like I say, we're not leaving you out, but we just wanted to get that clear the air, and just so everybody knows what's going on with the program. First thing is, when were you first contacted by the coaching staff at Algoma? And something with your recruitment picture and your commitment picture, you had a face shield on. What happened? Can we ask what happened there? And coach, when it comes to mouth guard, that's optional on players, isn't it? And Bigus, what was it, like you said, the coach followed you throughout the season and stuff like that? What clinched your decision to come to Algoma and Sault Ste. Marie? And coach, it must be something when it comes to you must talk to these guys before they come on the show, because all I hear from all these guys is defense, defense, defense. What's up with that, coach? And Bigus, what will you be taking at Algoma? And coach, what attracted you to this young man to bring him to Algoma and to add him to your roster? And Biggest, like you say, you're coming from the OCAA with the Coyotes, where you saw about, like you say, 31 minutes per game with an average of 15 points per game. Do you think you can still bring that to the OUA from the OCAA? And coach, where do you see him fitting into your roster this coming season? And because when it comes to we talked off air before we got on the started live. You didn't make a campus visit, but your brother came here to Sioux College. What do you know about Sault Ste. Marie and Algoma? And coach, we talk probably every couple of days and talking about the small town. Even though it's 70,000 people, it's a small town atmosphere, and that's one thing the guys are talking about. That they're the new ones that are going to like that, right? Because if I ask you when it come if I was to ask you what coach would say, what would be your selling point to him about you coming to Algoma? Like what your his opinion? And something like coach mentioned about everybody's got something to learn. What do you think you got to work on for I guess now January to be prepared for the season? And say you had mentioned you talked to Vincent Falado who played here last year and will be back. If for the players who are watching or the guys who are watching, one word, how would you describe yourself as a basketball player and why? And coach, if I asked you one word about Bigus, how would you explain it and why? And Bigus, when it comes to this this season is like I say, like no other really. When it comes to because you're probably not going to be playing until January. Again, everybody wants that championship, but what are your personal goals for 2021 when you step on campus? And when do you hope to come up to the campus? And Coach, you had mentioned just off air before we came on about you and Steven actually in the background here, like say the George Leach. Talk a little bit about that and what that was like. And because with everything, like I say, everything happened in March with COVID and everything, but things have changed a lot since March, but also again tweaks and stuff like that. How have you, I guess, kept in shape, and what have you been doing with basketball skills, and how you've been doing that since as we've been going along? So no excuse for his cardio then, right, Coach? Because one thing I've learned about Coach since last August is you almost get it out of him, and he catches himself, and he doesn't tell you what you want to hear. Yeah, just those teasers, eh? He tells you, then he pulls it back. Totally, exactly. But yes, now I use the way technology is in that today. Have you communicated with many of the guys? And coach, what is it about? Something about Eastern Ontario, and your recruiting. What's that about basketball there? And you're like this year. A lot of your recruits are in that area. And because how can basketball help that hockey team in Ottawa? Like I say, I'm a hockey guy, but like I say, become more and more basketball because of like Algoma and the streaming and everything. But yeah, like I say, that hockey team there is just yeah. We'll leave that one alone. Yeah, totally understandable. Now, biggest, if I was to ask you if you were to play one on one with anybody you could, who would it be and how would you beat them? Yep. And your thoughts on that, Coach? No, because if Coach was to go around, like you say, when you guys are all out in the dressing room together and everybody's in Sault Ste. Marie, and if he was to go around the dressing room and ask everybody to introduce themselves and talk a little bit about themselves, what would you say to your new teammates? And like when you said about coming to Algoma and committing, what was it like when you decided that you were going to play OUA basketball and knew that you were coming and going to be able to play at that next level? And Coach, what did you say to him to convince him to come to Algoma? And Bigus, well, one thing that he mentioned, handles. What are we talking about? Oh, we gotta try. We gotta try. Totally understandable. Totally understandable. Well, Bingus, when it comes to, and coach, this is like I say, putting him on the spot here, but as an outsider coming into Algoma, with they only had 2 wins last season, what do you think you can help to bring? And again, it's a team sport, not just an individual sport, but what do you think you can bring to help that when it comes to the winning end of to help Algoma in the winning column? And coach, with I always say Algoma still a new not a new program, but like I say, it has been in the OUA compared to a lot of other bigger schools. What would it mean to Algoma for you guys to make the playoffs? And coach, something we had talked about probably back just in the new year, and this season coming up again is thrown to the wind when it comes to different ideas. But the following season, what would you say about having like a basketball day in Sault Ste. Marie, where high school in the morning and then say Sault College, and then you guys close it out? What would you say to something like that for the community? And it'd be something again to sell. Because Sault Ste. Marie and Bigus, like your brother came here, but like came to Sault Ste. Marie, but Sault Ste. Marie has always been a hockey town. So if we could have basketball compete for, like you say, to be equal with hockey in Sault Ste. Marie, it'd surely add to the basketball program at Algoma, wouldn't it? And biggest one thing we've talked about, and say right now everything's in January. We understand with everything going on. What would happen come January 1st if you needed to play in front of no fans? How would that be? So, and coach, they can at least hear you yell at them more, right? They'd hear you more yelling if there's no fans. And biggest the question I've asked a few guys is, what do you think it's going to be like to play with two sets of brothers on the roster? You think it? You think there's going to be any drama when it comes to brothers? And your comments on that, coach? I gotta clip that out and keep that one. That's not too often. There's no comment there. Yeah, there's not too. It's not too often we don't get any words from coach. That's for sure, Bigus. Well, Bigus, before we let you go, is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to? Biggest. Now you mentioned it was Roman, and was it Ben who's the three trying to live together? Now, if I was to ask mom or dad, what are you going to drive them nuts about? Are you neat or tidy? Do you cook? Will your parents make the trip up sometime in January or like in the new year? So, Coach, Kevin's not here and he's going to hate this. We got jerk chicken. Now we're going to have some baking coming up, too. So, now I forget, Kevin's not here. Who's the jerk chicken? Who's gonna bring the jerk chicken? Do you remember, Coach? Yeah. So yeah, so like I say, we might have a good feast one time in the new year when the parents are up. Might have, might maybe in the new year we'll have to have a family day and bring everybody in and we can have a nice buffet there, Coach. So. Yeah, because Kevin mentioned he made it probably right around when we did the show with Jay and that, and Kevin goes, it was, my family said it was good, but probably not nearly as good as Jay's mom's chicken. So yeah, so just make sure you send Jay a message saying coming over some jerk chicken before we leave. Thanks. Just make us jealous. Well, guys, I can't thank you enough, and hopefully we'll get you on camera in the new year, or if not throughout, like say the fall. And the one question is, we talked about you got 4 extra months to get ready for January. That's gonna be a little bit different compared to what you're used to when it comes to high school or OCAA, isn't it? And there you go, Coach. No excuse. Now you can hold him to that. Well, again, Coach, can't thank you enough, and Bigus, thank you, and we'll do this again come in the fall.